Does God hate gay people? The short and very simple answer would be no, but that needs some explanation. I think, first of all, I don't believe God sees us in those kind of categories as gay people or straight people. These are categories that we have created, and they're categories that really describe either a lifestyle or a sense of our inner identity or belonging to a community. But I don't think when God looks at us, he sees us with those labels. I think within the Bible and the gospel message, actually a label like heterosexual or homosexual, both of those labels don't have meaning, because our desires and our actions don't define our identity. We are simply people. We're human before God, but all of us are sinful people. But all of us are loved people. God loved the world. God loved us. Romans tells us when we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So does God hate any kind of person? No. God loves every kind of person, but he loves us too much to leave us the way we are. And let me illustrate that with one example from the life of Jesus. In Mark 10, there is a rich young man who comes to Jesus, and it says a beautiful phrase that Jesus looked at him and loved him. And I think that's how God looks at every person. But in our culture, we might expect that to then go on and say, so he said to him, "Come on, son," and gives him a big hug and says, "It's okay, just come and be accepted. And I accept you just like you are." Actually, Jesus says to him, if you want to follow me, you have to sell everything you have. Why does Jesus say that? He's the only person he says that to. Because for him, that's what it will mean to follow Jesus, to lay down the other God in his life. And all of us have some other God in our life. And God loves us and wants us to come to him, but he also needs to replace that other God. We can only come to him as God. And the story goes on in Mark 10 to say that the young man went away downhearted because he was very wealthy. In other words, he wasn't prepared to give that up. I hope he came back. I hope he learned and came back. But that's the nature of God's love. It is love for us as we are, but love for us that wants to change us into what God knows we can be. And for anyone, whatever we identify ourselves as, we need to come to God in those terms, to confess our sin and to receive his forgiveness, and then to learn with Jesus as Lord what it means to live God's way for us.